Roland Martin Unfiltered on the Black Star Network. Yes, we are here in New Orleans at the National Urban League Convention. 70%, folks, of kids in foster care dream of going to college. 3% start college, just 1% graduate. The big issue, of course, deals with their families not having the resources. Move-In Day Mafia is a nonprofit organization that provides dorm makeovers and everything an underserved HBCU freshman needs to kick off their year. Joining us right now is TeeJ Mercer, founder and creator of Move-In Day Mafia, joining us from Atlanta. TeeJ, glad to have you here. So, where does this come from? Move-In Mafia? What's up with that?
Move-In. Well, first of all, I am so excited. You just upped my credibility with my dad. I worked in television for 25 years, and this is probably his most proudest moments. So let me just say, let me get that out the way and have my fan moment.
What's your dad's name? What's your dad's name?
Reverend Marvin Mercer Sr.
The Reverend Marvin Mercer Sr.?
Yes.
All right. Well, Reverend Mercer, your daughter is on the show. Glad you enjoy the show, and we're glad to provide the platform. So go right ahead.
So Move-In Day Mafia actually, Mr. Martin, was born because when the pandemic first broke out, I had moved to Atlanta and I was lonely. So I created this virtual bingo game. Then as we watched, graduations get canceled, I was like, God, being a graduate of the Howard University, I stand and rock hard for HBCUs just like you. And I wanted to do something, to encourage the grads. So we created HBCU Bingo. And in a short amount of time, in less than 4 weeks, we raised over $1.5 million in cash and prizes, and we gave it away to the 2020 grads, about 500 of them, in a series of bingo games that I produced just like my TV shows. Well, that caught national media, and they interviewed myself and another one of my grads, and I learned in that interview that when she was a student, she had aged out of foster care, her social worker drove her to college, pulled up to the curb, let her unload what little stuff she had, and then just left her. And that did something to me because up until that point, I had never thought about this demographic of kids. That was not my move-in day. And so once again, I prayed, asked God for him to show me what I can do in this situation. And then Move-In Day Mafia was born.
Wow, that's pretty awesome there. How many folks have you actually helped?
So this is only our second year. First year, last year, we moved in 13 freshmen at Paul Quinn College in Dallas. We're tripling our efforts this year and moving in 39 across Fisk University, Prairie View in near Houston, Texas, and going back to Paul Quinn for another 13. So a total of 39 scholars.
Wow, that's pretty good. Now, do you have people who are contributing to help with this move-in, help you with the resources?
Absolutely. Our donors, as a matter of fact, while I was waiting, to come on your show, Kim Whitley called me from vacation, being that she's a Fisk grad, and being that you are an alpha man, you might appreciate that one of our scholars, I won't say what school he's going to go to just because of protection of his privacy, but one of our scholars was homeless, couch surfing, and he was taken in by some alpha men, and he actually was taken in. They paid for his pledge fees. So now I've tapped into all my alpha men to get his supplies covered. And so when I say the outpouring is incredible, it really is from all walks of life. People are pulling together to create teams. I've actually created a page just for you and your alpha brothers, moveinddaymafia.org/Roland Martin. You can donate, you can volunteer, but it really is becoming a movement. And I'm thrilled because this is only year 2. So we've done quite a bit and we got so much farther to go.
All right. Question from my panel. Matt, you first.
Well, I'm glad you started with me first, and I'm not surprised that this is a graduate of the Howard University. I'm also a Bison, so shout out to you, HU. For recognizing this. This is so important because, like in the state of Texas, for instance, when a student ages out of foster care, I believe the system will cover at least their college fees until the age of 26. So all the degrees up to 26, but the reason that's so important is because there's still such a wide gap between that tuition and all of the needs, that they have as it relates to going to college, because not only tuition is expensive, as is everything else. So my question to you is, what, if any, buy-in have you had from the universities and or even just the social services systems of Texas and Georgia that will help suture that gap? Because that's where a lot of college students suffer, is not having the money for meal plans and other things like that. So has there been buy-in from the institution?
Absolutely. We have incredible relationships with Paul Quinn, Dean Maurice West. We have an incredible relationship with the Dean of Housing at Fisk, who has really been facilitating us getting access to the students that fit our criteria. And as well as Prairie View has an entire department. Mr. Norman is in charge of the department at Prairie View that covers the foster care liaisons. So we really have, and they are so happy to have us, and are really have gone over and beyond of helping us get the word out to the students. Because to be honest with you, what we have found, we just did a whole bunch of surprise student notifications on Saturday. And what we have found is the challenge is these students think we're too good to be true. And they don't really apply because they're thinking that's the way. It's like when we notified one of the students who was going to be going to Fisk, this young man, his public defender and his mom convinced him to take a 3-year plea deal for something he did not do. So he's excited of getting out of his city to get to Fisk. And he was explaining to us when we notified him, he was like, I didn't even think I had a shot. I just didn't think I had a shot. And so for us, it really is important to have the schools behind us, because that is giving us the credibility that we need. So these students know, no, we're not too good to be true. We are a group of volunteers that's coming from all over the country to just move you in and get you started. But we're not leaving you just then. Like our program is designed and created with the mission of taking care and walking them through all the way to graduation. We are really serious about disrupting that foster care to prison pipeline and replacing it with the foster care to HBCU graduate pipeline.
Michael.
All right, hey TJ, this is a great idea. I went to a commuter school, didn't go to HBCU, graduated from Wayne State University here in Detroit. But I wanted to know, how many volunteers do you typically need to move in the average college student? And then also, like, what are some of the items that you need donated? What are some of the things that you need donated as well to help you for the 2023-2024 school year?
Okay, so I'm going to take the first question, and then if I forget what the second question is, we're going to revisit that. But the first question is, when we moved into 13 last year, that was our first year. And so with anything as a pilot program, it's learning pains, growing pains, and things like that. So we didn't have not nearly as many volunteers as we needed. This year, we're looking at like 6 teams of 4 to get each room set up, because we want to make sure everything is done before we leave, that when they start classes, they have the space that they need to be creative, to thrive, to get cozy, to get comfortable. So question number 2 was, what kind of items? Anything you think a college student would need. So for us, we actually have found partners. Like last year, we had a partner named Trade and Travel. An hour before we were getting ready to go shop, she sent us $17,000, which we were able to get brand new TVs, refrigerators, sheets, cleaning supplies, school supplies, money in their pocket. We left them with $100 cash so that they could just have fun and be a college student, because that really is what's important to me. I want them to go to school, study hard, party a little bit occasionally, but then ultimately graduate so they don't have to be worried about where they're going to get deodorant, where they're going to get soap. And so the desire and the goal is to once a month, we're looking for partners, corporate partners who can be responsible for sending, care packages that have the deodorant, the soap, the detergent, rolls of quarters, for them to wash. All of that is important because we got to get them to graduation.
All right, TJ, tell folks where to go to get more information.
So moveindaymafia.org/Roland Martin. Moveindaymafia.org/Roland Martin is where you can donate and sign up to be a volunteer. And our first Move-In Day starts next weekend at Fisk University, followed by the weekend after that will be Paul Quinn College, and the weekend after that will be Prairie View A&M.
All right, then. TeeJ, thanks so much. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much. Let me thank Kelly, Matt, as well as Michael, who've been on my panel today. Thank you so very much, folks. I appreciate it. See y'all next week. When we come back, Al B. Shore, we'll chat with him. Plus, we'll close out the show. Me and Snoop Dogg on stage.